Well, I've been studying for the LSAT probably for about 2 months, but then in December, I studied for a month, stopped for a bit because of school, knowing I was gonna take it this summer, and then started again once school finished in early April. I'm doing probably about 25 hours worth of studying a week, but I find that the hardest thing for me is reading comprehension.
Mhm.
Logic games, I've improved a lot. Logical reasoning, I'm getting probably about like 19 out of 25, sometimes 17, 18, somewhere around then, there. But reading comp, I can only ever get to 3, which I've listened to your podcast. So I know you say to like kind of zero in on the 3 that you know will most benefit you, that you can do the best and you could probably get the best scores in. But I just want to improve.
Well, I wouldn't always recommend that approach. It depends on your goals. I actually think that doing only 3 passages puts a ceiling on how high you can ultimately score because you're guessing randomly on about 7 questions. So that advice would be for a very specific group of people.
Right.
But let me ask you this, Brooke. What's your reading comp approach like right now in terms of note taking, highlighting, underline? What do you do after you read a passage or as you read it?
So I find for me, as I read it, I just kind of scribble on a sheet beside it because obviously it's online, just because I don't even refer to the notes, but I find that it helps me understand more of what I'm reading. Um, I try to, if I don't understand a word, I'll circle it, just because sometimes I know that LSAT has a tendency to, the trickier words, it tends to ask you about it later on or add it in somewhere. So
Hmm.
I'll always kind of be aware of what I don't know. But I think the thing that gets me is I don't actively read enough. Like, I don't think, okay, is this the example? Is this the author's opinion? Like, I think I passively read too much and I'm just kind of struggling. I'm trying so hard to understand it that I don't even understand what each component is doing for the passage as a whole.
Hmm. Yeah. Are you trying to really understand every single word, every single sentence? And how long
Yeah.
does it take you to read initially?
I'm gonna say like, well, maybe like 6 minutes, 7 minutes.
Do you have extra time on the exam?
No. Oh, yeah, no. I have to end up like by the time I get to the last passage, I'm just clicking random answers just to get
Hmm.
something in.
And what's your goal score?
My goal score is probably a 165, I would say I'd be happy with.
Okay. And how do you do on the other sections?
The other sections I do pretty good. Logic games, I think the lowest I'll get is maybe 19 out of 23. Mostly I'll get like 20, 22. Logic games I'm pretty good at. Logical reasoning, I find by the second section, my brain is just so burnt out that I can't even focus. And I'm just missing like parts that I normally wouldn't miss. And I'm skipping over parts I wouldn't normally skip over. I always do worse on the second logical reasoning section.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is that I'm wondering if doing only 3 passages, as you said, would be feasible for you, or if you need
Hmm.
to do all 4 in order to reach your goals. So I would do some calculations there to see how many exactly are you getting on average on games, the other logical reasonings, to see what you can afford to sacrifice on reading comp in order to get overall potentially higher accuracy. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.